Hello, hello, and welcome back to another Monday, Friday, fun day, right? Where we are coming with Passion Unscripted podcast, and we are just peeling the onion of intimacy, of love, how to express ourselves to the fullest, and just allowing us as women to step into our power, into our magnetic force, into our attraction. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, welcome to this beautiful world of Passion Unscripted. Welcome. And me, Irina Portnova, is here in the house where I am teaching you how do you attract your partner, somebody that is truly matching what you would love to have. He can basically, he or she can totally tick all the boxes. It doesn't have to be just some, it could be all. So that's exactly what I am teaching you, how to attract that person. And I'm here today with my co-host Dina Alexander. Dina, say a couple of words about yourself.
Hi, Irina. Hi, Magdalena. I love it. Today is different. Irina, I love
Yeah.
every Monday with you. It's fun Monday, but with Magdalena, I wanted to talk Dutch again. That's difficult. But yeah, with Magdalena with us, perfect. Love it. So, my name is Dina Alexander. I am from Aruba. I just went off in a meeting with Netherlands, so we speak a lot of languages, and I do teach women, and especially women, to marry sex with spirituality, because we are human beings. We can create with that energy. It's a beautiful energy. It's a spiritual energy. It's a creative energy, and it's fun. That's be.
Yay, it's beautiful. And now I'm going to introduce our guest, Magdalena Grace. Yay! Magdalena, tell a couple of words about yourself and what is the event that you are running right now.
Yes, thank you so much, first of all, for having me, beautiful woman. I'm excited to be here on a Monday, a magical day, starting a new week inside of this eclipse portal. So I call myself a women's empowerment and soul liberation guide, helping women after divorce, after being a widowed, suicide survivors, any women that are going through like a major grief initiation. Those are the ones that I love to serve and support and help liberate them mentally, physically, spiritually, and sexually, since we're talking about that today. And I'm creating a 5-day love, money, and pleasure portal activation this week, 5 days, 5 classes. Day one is today. We're letting go of the shit that doesn't serve us, the limiting beliefs, the toxic behaviors, the things that we inherited from our ancestors, all of that, so that we can call in and reclaim our truth, which is love, money, and pleasure, baby, all at once.
Woo! Bring it on. That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so, so much for the introduction. All right, so let's just dive into our conversation because last week, Magdalena, we were talking about how do we actually uh, allowing ourselves and our partner to love us without the mask, right? And
Mm.
then we are like trickling down, talking about it, and then the conversation came around, what about the bedroom? Because a lot of times women can fake orgasms, and I think it's more for women because society just like makes such a pressure on ourselves, right? And it's more like, okay, you have to make man to feel like a man, right? And I was laughing because I was telling Dina that like I was never like that. I feel my directness sometimes kills a lot of men, but but I just love it. And like I said, my lesson is to actually learning how to be more softer when I express myself because I'm too direct and sometimes it scares a lot of men. But it's good that we are all different, right? So today we are bringing that beautiful conversation about how do we actually step into our power and express ourselves and actually
Mhm.
be able to open up our feminine energy into the
Mhm.
fullest where we don't have to pretend, but more like we want to explore. So that's exactly what the conversation is all about. So anybody wants to take the floor and start conversating on this subject, maybe sharing something from your experience or experience with the clients, because it's always good, because a lot of times we are just going about life and feel like, like
Mhm.
this is just happening to us. But once we open up and have the conversation, we turned out to know that there are many of us. It just, like everybody's silent and not expressing, but we are here to just, just open that curtain and be bold and expressive.
Yeah.
Irina, I want to give Magdalena the first
Am I
step. Yes, if
sure?
you, if I can help you, because we are doing this every Monday.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
I want some another kind of how do you call
Yeah,
that, creativity, another kind of
Mhm.
soul coming in with.
yeah.
Let's hear it from you, Magdalena.
Yeah,
You're
thank
on
you
the
so much.
spot.
I know I'm sitting over here on my bouncy ball, all excited. So I'll briefly share my story and then what I've seen and how it translates to my clients. So I started self pleasuring at a very young age, like maybe 10 or 11. I didn't understand how powerful that was for me in my life. I truly, now looking back, it was like it gave me that empowerment and confidence, although there was a lot of religious shame and a lot of like secrecy and privacy and like, oh, I was a good girl, Christian, you're supposed to be a virgin until you get married and all of that kind of stuff. Or you're like Mary Magdalene, the whore, the prostitute. Those were the two images of
Hmm.
sexuality or not lack thereof that I grew up with. But at the same time, I believe Divine Mother was like, okay, girl, this is your power. This is your superpower. This is your Midas touch. As long as you have pleasure in your life, you're going to have love, money. You don't, quote unquote, need a man or need to be dependent upon one. However, there was a point in my life where I was in real estate. I, was making multiple six figures. Life was good. I lost everything in the crash. Like I doubled down and put all of my businesses, money, investments, and then I met my now ex-husband, and we trauma bonded. It wasn't true love, and he was like all into me before we got married, and then boop, all of a sudden we got married, started a family, and it was like, oh, the pleasure's gone. And guess what? We struggled financially the whole time. And then when I had my spiritual awakening and I hit rock bottom, because I also stopped my self pleasure practice. This is a key point. And so thinking, oh, it's my husband, I'm supposed to be devoted to him, right? Again, that church dogma crap. And so all of a sudden, when I hit rock bottom and I went through my journey of healing and plant medicine and breath work and Kundalini yoga, got my Shakti, Prana, life force, Chi, Mary Magdalene became one of my master guides and teachers, which is why I, have the name Magdalena now. And she's like, girl, you got to get back into that self pleasure practice. You got to get sexy back. You are a goddess. You got to, the queen of your queendom. And so it took a lot. It was like a deep, dark night of the soul, painful as fuck initiation, but I made it out. Got the courage to file for divorce. My Shakti and everything just went through the roof. I got all this creative mojo back. I started singing again. I had stopped singing. The throat and the yoni are the same structure. Hello. So I stopped speaking my truth. And guess what? Now, just like you, Irina, I tell a man what I think. I don't care what his response is anymore. I'm
I
standing in
love
my
that.
kingdom, and I see a lot of women who come to me who had the same lies and programming, and it's ancestral as well. So that's enough for now.
Oh my God, I love that. This is so cool. This is awesome. All right, Dina, tell a little bit about your story. Like how do you, like how did you progress with the man in bed?
You know, I was always very sexual. So I do remember placing everything in my panties when I was very young. And
Mm.
hygiene, I had to take care of that. So I did educate myself in that area. That was always my passion. So I didn't have that um, strong religious grasp, because we were a family. We were Catholics. It's a Catholic island. but I was very smart in doing everything in the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So I developed that curiosity and exploring very early in my days, and I was for lunch, for example, when I started working. I was a banker. When I started working, I was, instead of going outside in my lunchtime, go out and eat, I would go home and pleasure myself, use my vibrators, and that was my charging moment. And I did it unconsciously, but I followed my heart and I followed my soul. Okay, after a lot of years, when I became a sex coach, and I understood what I was doing. Okay, so before I start, because I've written some bullet points for us to talk today. Before I start that, I it's beautiful that you are asking us what we did, because I didn't think about it. I didn't think
Mm-hmm.
about how it started with me, but it never started. I'm like that. And when I started spirituality, Irina and Magdalena, I need to be very honest with you guys. When I attracted sex, I attracted intimacy, and I wanted spirituality. So at that time I didn't know that these things go hand in hand. So when anybody started talking about sex, I was like, stop it. We are in spirituality. Yeah. I was like that, yes. Yes. And during my journey, when I started like, hey, look, this is a powerful thing. Why am I putting it aside? That's why my soul, I continued following my soul, because it isn't supposed to be placed outside of my what I like. Elle is with us. Hi, Elle.
Yay, it's great to see Elle with us all the time.
Yes, and that's a little bit about me. So what I did is I explored in my younger days, and now that I have experience, this is one of my superpowers, and that's what I teach my ladies. It's a superpower, and you should know how to use it and have results and do your thing. That's why you're
I
born for it.
love that. I love that. So I'm gonna briefly share about my experience. I could say I was a late bloomer. So I was having my ex-boyfriend, I mean my boyfriend, that when I was in Ukraine, I came to the United States when I was 20. And honestly, I never experienced any orgasms. So basically, when I came here into United States, I didn't have a boyfriend. So like after some time, I started to explore myself, and it was interesting. Initially, it was kind of just okay. Let me see what it feels like. How am I feeling? Right? What I'm having the sensations for. And finally, when I had my first orgasm, just from me pleasuring myself, I was like, "Woo! This is fun. This is interesting." And again, it's just like we all have that inside of us, but some women are so ashamed to even talk about it, because again, the societal norms where everybody was saying, like you're not supposed to do it, you're not supposed to go there, it's not for that, right? But then again, why did we come up with that if we are not supposed to explore, right? Like everything that we have in our nature has that purpose and meaning, and it's not just to bear the kids. I'm sorry to say that. So again, we are just coming into the power where we realize that we
Mhm.
are also entitled to receive the pleasure. It's not only for men, but for women especially. And
Mhm.
like just claiming that this is something that we want, this is something that we desire, and to have that passion, to have that desire. There is nothing shameful about it, because that's who we are at the core. And again, a lot of women are just like kind of subsidize these desires, because again, it's just that nonsense around that, you're not supposed to talk about it. And then again, how can the partner give us the pleasure in the bed if we do not ourselves know what is
Hmm.
something that, like tick us? So that's why that's the conversation that we are having today. All right, so let's dive in. Let's just, like go through some of the questions that we are having with this topic, because I feel like we are steering the pot, and I love to steer the pot. So what might be secretly spoiling the pleasure? What is something that you feel can secretly spoiling the pleasure?
Well, I can
Magdalena.
share. Yeah, there's a stat that I heard from one of my tantra sisters. 80% of women don't have orgasms when they're with men. And I recognized in my own journey, looking back, a lot of it was we don't feel safe. And we really got to learn how to speak our truth, set our boundaries, find the man or woman. Again, this is hetero, homo, whatever, however you identify. And we gotta know what we love and how to feel safe in our own body and central nervous system and regulate that, and then ask for what we want. And that's where it can be tricky, right? Because it's a man's world. He just literally takes over, and we can talk about goddesses if you want to talk about the story of Lilith, like all of that, like women can't be on top, like all of these lies that we've been programmed around is one of the biggest reasons most women don't feel safe. So it's about education, about finding out what pleases you, and then how to make sure you're also choosing the right person, and feeling safe with them first. Building, I call it a friendship, a courtship, and then a lovership is just how I'm rolling these days, because I did it the opposite way, and trauma bonded, and also just standing in my own power, and being able to pleasure yourself. Then you don't have to go out and find it, like that song, looking for love in all the wrong places, and then you attract something really that, or someone that doesn't love you and worship you like a queen. So it starts with you worshiping your body as a temple, worshiping your own womb and yoni, and really owning your needs and desires, but then being able to speak them and feel safe in that environment. Which, there's a book called The Art of Making Sex Sacred. Also, it's a yoga, Vedic, Ayurvedic. I do a lot with yoga and Kundalini and Tantra and stuff like that. And so it's about education, understanding, and then finding what you want and speaking your truth. So that was a lot, but I just wanted to try to share as much as I could in opening the door there.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dina. That's now your turn.
The question was, what was the problem, eh? That was
Yeah,
the
the
question.
question was what might be secretly spoiling the pleasure?
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I think one of the biggest problems I see in my practice, people have desires, but no language for them. Okay, they know
Mm-hmm.
something is missing, but um, they know they want more, but then when I ask more of what, there is silence.
Mm.
More touch, more affection, more flirting, more anticipation, more emotional
Mm,
connection, more playfulness, more initiation,
mm,
more romance, and I can keep going on like Magdalena did. These are different needs. Okay?
yeah.
So instead of saying our sex isn't, our sex life isn't good anymore, try becoming, if you're listening to us at this moment, try becoming specific. And that's what I'm missing. I miss feeling desired. I want more affection outside the bedroom. I'd love to flirt again. I need more emotional connection before I feel sexually open.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
if you do that, then your partner has something they can actually understand, and specifically create possibility to give you that. Okay, because
Hmm.
if you specifically, if you're a woman and your partner is a man, you need to be specific. If your partner is a woman, that's different. Okay, but I'm talking to the woman at the moment. You need to tell a man specifically what he needs to do, and he'll do it if he has the time and space and energy and etc. Because that's another topic.
He's got to be coachable. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Those
that's
are those are great things. Those are great things. So the from our conversation is like be bold, be brave, know
Mhm.
exactly what you want, and have no shame to talk
Mhm.
about it, right? Because
Mhm.
again, everybody's so focused on everything outside of them that they forget, especially women, to take care of themselves. And now we are inviting the women to actually claim what they are meant to receive, right? Tap into that receiving power and show
Mhm.
that, like we are also here to experience the pleasure. We are also here to play, be playful, be fun. And again, talking about the sexual energy is the creative energy, right?
Mhm.
And this is something that we can manifest with. So this is super, super powerful. So let's talk a little bit about, let's say people are in, whether they are just in marriage or in partnership. What is something that's going to keep that, spark going no matter how long they are together? What are some maybe tools or tips, something that it worked for you girls that you would love to share?
I want to
For
share. I
me,
want to start this time. Let me
go.
start
Mm-hmm.
this time because I'll give Magdalena a break. Because sometimes if you change position in bed in the bedroom also,
Ooh,
it
and
will
we are
give you
shifting the
another view.
position in conversation, right?
Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
doing this
to feel
here
it
we have a threesome.
differently.
We are having this threesome today. So I do think your sexual relationship begins outside the bedroom. This is where some couple get surprised because they think their sexual problem begins when they get into bed. Often, but it starts 12 hours earlier. Maybe your partner felt dismissed that morning. You didn't give him or her a kiss. Maybe there has been a tension all week. Maybe nobody has touched affectionately for the last couple of days. Maybe one person has been carrying everything at home. Now the other suddenly wants romance at 10:30 at night. Honey, if you are listening to me at this moment, the body keeps receipts. Intimacy is influenced by how you treat each other throughout the day. A warm look, a kiss without expecting it, okay? A compliment, a, a slap in the some women like that on the ass, a compliment,
Mm-hmm.
a playful message, helping when your partner is overwhelmed, helping that person, feeling appreciated. That's also very aphrodisiac. These moments create the emotional environment where desire can breathe, and that's what needed. Desire. The bedroom isn't an isolated island. Okay, it's connected to the entire relationship. But a lot of couples only see the bedroom, and when you're not on the in the bedroom, then it's like ice or clinical, business like,
Mm-hmm.
everything else cold. Okay, and if you and this is a topic that me and Irina do agree, but she calls it something else, and I call it, if you have a relationship, it's work. You cannot have a relationship. You remember, Irina?
Wait, how do I describe it? Yeah, I have to remember how I call it because to me it's not work. Or for me it's discovery.
Ah.
It's discovery and exploration.
And
Mm-hmm.
I talk like that with my clients because after they marry, and I think that was my email blast today, my Monday email blast. After they marry, they stop doing everything. Okay, and that's where you need to continue. You need to be more creative. Otherwise, you need to be single if you don't have time or patience. Or maybe look, I'm not talking about those periods where you're sick, something is happening in the family, there is grief, and there are moments where your attention need to be elsewhere. I'm not talking about those moments because that's a relationship. Things happens. Okay. And then you need to take your time. Okay. That's what I think.
I love that. Beautiful, beautifully said. All right, Magdalena, that's the floors is yours.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I'll just add, I agree with everything she said. Specifically, like I was saying, courtship, and then if you decide to marry your partner, whatever is your thing, it never ends, like she said. And so weekly date nights, and also to to keep things spicy and fun and real and away from codependency. I see so many women, especially, become so codependent. They shut out their girlfriends. They get rid of their girls' nights. They do everything. I'm a mom, so I did this. So I learned the hard way. So please take notes. My sisters who are moms and partnered, I poured into my partner and my kids, and I made myself dead last. So first of all, put your oxygen mask on first. Take care of your own self care, your needs. Go on solo vacations. Go on girls trips. Take care of that overall well being, and then you're going to be much more alive and fresh for your man, or again, your partner. And that weekly date night, take turns planning it, make it fun and exciting, and meet each other where you're at. And even like before bed, or even just once a day, just tune in, even if it's a phone call, whatever, just to like look eye to eye, whatever, to just have that connection and that spark. I know for me, like ideally, I love to work out with my partner and have other touch points, like not everything together, like that codependency thing, but have other touch points outside of the bedroom, like you were saying, that are fun and part of your overall humanity. Because really, for me, like I don't want to be with someone that's casual. Like I want them to be my best friend. So you're always going to be, in that mirror effect of learning from each other, being humble, and that all starts with that self care, date nights, and not making them the only thing in your life as well.
So beautifully. You know what was coming to me as you were sharing, Magdalena? I was just, like drawing the images. So the images that came to me, like sometimes the people in the bedroom, it's like, the guy received the love and everything, and then he turns around, he turns his back, and that's it. Nighty night, right? For me, this is like creepy because I feel like more women want like that connection even after, right, the sex. So
Yes.
this is like something important. And another thing that was coming into me was like create your own rituals. How do
Yeah.
you keep that fire going? Like create some rituals, right? Maybe
Mhm.
like have feet massage for each other, like with essential oils, do something pleasant, do something fun. And for me, like Dina mentioned, foreplay doesn't start in the bed. The foreplay starts like during the, like when when we see each other after a long day, and I want that presence. I don't
Mm.
want my person to look at the phone and just stay distracted. I want that connection, right? Because
Yes.
connection is everything. When you and the partner are connecting, that's when you feel that you are important. That's you when you feel that somebody is truly caring for you, right? Not necessarily just, like be passionate in the bed. I mean, yes, this is great, but it has to be this and that. It can't be just that, right? So this is something that is really coming into my mind. All right,
Mhm.
so let's continue the conversation where we are talking about so what is something that we want to give women especially to explore, right? When it comes to the bedroom, what would be something that we want them to do? Because again, when we stop being that good girl in the bed and start being real about our desires, it's like a completely game change. So what would be some of the tips that you could give to the listeners, especially to somebody who has never explored that field and still kind of, like just, putting their feet into this water, right? What would be something like a good starting point?
I'll go really quick. Just for me, the simple things are, wearing a goddessy lingerie that really made me feel sexy and made me feel, just like a goddess. Getting
Mhm.
flowers and putting them in the bedroom or wherever, and being able to just honor the sensuality with, strawberries and all of the things. Like you said, ritual. I love that. Like that book, The Art of
Mhm.
Making Sex Sacred, is like it's a ritual. It's a ceremony, and bringing in the divine, bringing in, archetypal energies, bringing in toys, bringing in playfulness, and obviously doing that with yourself first. I teach my clients. We do
Mhm.
a monthly yoni steam and womb whispering night, and all these things on a Friday, which is Goddess Day, Venus Day, Freya, the goddess of sex, and Lakshmi, abundance, and honoring your temple, and then teaching that and sharing that with your partner, and having, whatever you want to call it, a ritual, a ceremony, fun, and making it more of like a true communion, right? In order to make it more deep and real and raw.
I love that. Thank you so
I love
much,
it.
Dina.
I
How
love it.
about yourself?
I like that. And that's where I wanted to go. Thank you, Magdalena. I love you already. And you feel it? So I your question was what the
What are the
tips.
tips? Mhm.
Mhm. I would say in a nutshell, bring back play. Okay.
Mhm.
And now please, can we stop making intimacy another household responsibility? That's the thing. That is my biggest tip. It's not a
Mhm.
household responsibility. Some couple approach it sex like laundry, check, groceries, check, sex,
Right.
check. No, no. And I have a couple. The lady came to me and she says, I only had sex once a week. And when we started with you, it's every other week. So tonight he has a headache, so I won't get sex. No, no. Intimacy needs room for play,
Mhm.
laughter, flirting, silliness. Change the environment, put music on, dress differently. Here, Magdalena said it. Go on a date and pretend you're meeting each other again. So that's there is a name for it. That is, um, how you call that? I forgot the name. That's I'll get it.
Foreplay?
No, that's not for play. It's role play.
Uh-huh. Role play.
Role
Yep,
play.
yep.
Go on a date and pretend you are meeting each other. Send flirtatious messages in the afternoon. Build anticipation. And don't make every sensual moment responsible for becoming sex. Some moments are just you need to leave it like that because if your lady or your man had a very hard day and he or she just needed a hug, that's it. And you can feel it, but don't keep on looking for that happy ending. Sometimes a touch can simply be a touch. Sometimes a kiss can simply be delicious. When every affectionate gesture has an expected destination, people can start avoiding the journey altogether. Okay?
Mm,
Bring back exploration. That's what my tip to everyone that is watching us, is listening to us.
I love that. I love that. So what I wanted, oh, hold on. Let me see. I'm playing with these things. Hold on. All right. So I wanted to say that kind of in conclusion to say that my tip would be just, like start asking yourself first, like what is something, how do, maybe go into the times when there was a lot of playfulness, when was a lot of fun, what was something that you might forget about, or what was something that you were doing in this partnership that actually caused you to be more playful, to be more alive, and let's rediscover it, right? Because again, sometimes it's not even reinventing something new, but kind of, tap into something you already forgot, right? And for somebody who is not in the partnership, it's totally fine. Just explore yourself, because the more you tap into your sexuality, the more you are going to attract that person who is matching exactly your desires, and somebody who is matching your energy. All right. Anybody else wants to add something before we close up?
Um, I want to. Oh, go ahead, Magdalena. Want to say something? Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say really quickly again, I go summary, closure, your body's a temple, ladies, treat it as such. Yoni theme, like, you know, like there's all these different things that you can do to make you feel sexy, and it goes to that, you know, spirituality component that you were talking about, Dina, because
Mhm.
our yonis are sacred, our wombs are sacred, and the more you can take care of yourself down there, the more you're going to simply be empowered in the bedroom and the boardroom and wherever else in your life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and quickly, as Magdalena says, great intimacy isn't created because two people magically have a chemistry. Okay, it's created when two people become brave enough to learn each other, and that's through communication. That's through listening. That's staying curious. That's playing. Okay, say yes
I
when you
love
mean
that.
yes. Say no
I
when
love that.
you don't mean it. You need to be. Yeah, that's what I can give to the people out there.
So, so beautiful. Well, such a vibrant episode, such a live episode. I'm curious what anybody who is listening want to say. Just give us the heart, give us the like, share it with somebody who you feel might benefit from this episode. And Magdalena, it was such a pleasure to have you with us. We trust you're coming back for more episodes so we could have more fun together, because again, it's so beautiful. We are all so different, yet we are all one. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and again, we'll see you on the next episode. And if you want some of the topics that you might be not comfortable to share about, just DM us and let us know. So again, we are here to support you, to guide you, and to bring something that is hidden into the light, and just have the fun conversation. And Al was very quiet today.
Uh-huh.
Usually
Uh-huh.
he interacts, but I don't know. Like Al, we left you speechless, I guess. But thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all on next Monday. Happy Monday, happy fun day. Bye.